We back with another episode. They said where the podcast at? I said, huh? They said where the podcast at? I said, huh? They said where the podcast at? Where the podcast here? Yo, what's poppin', Tyler?
What's poppin'?
Yeah, what we talking about today?
We're gonna be talking about the pandemic. The pandemic.
The
Scamdemic. The pandemic.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about like PPP loans, and let's talk about businesses that didn't exist that do exist, and businesses that did exist that don't exist. You notice a lot of stores are going up. Oh man, with that Bigsby coffee.
Yep, Best Buy. Best Buy. We went up in Best Buy. It's like,
Oh,
it was like, oh man,
it was dry.
It was real dry.
Yeah, that's because a lot of people order their electronics and stuff online.
Yeah.
A lot of things is online now.
In a minute, we ain't gonna need no stores. Like seriously, Amazon gonna deliver everything. Amazon, FedEx, UPS,
Oh man.
Mailman. We ain't gonna need them in a minute. I mean, when you got Amazon and FedEx and UPS, I mean, just to find another reason to eliminate another group of employees.
But where there's supply, there is demand. So let's talk about this. So let's talk about I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna talk about the pandemic and how I was I was I was kind of shocked that I said they put the world on punishment. I was like, I could see you putting a town, maybe a city, not even a state. I couldn't even picture a state on lockdown. They locked down the whole world. Just sit down.
Yeah.
Well, just about the whole world.
They did what they wanted to do for the time they was able to do it, but
I think it made some go getters.
I think that it was necessary. It probably sounds jacked up to say that, but I think it was necessary because
Yeah.
a lot of things happened. You know, people learned, people took out time with, for instance, your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How we take for granted time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think during the pandemic we learned how to value time.
Right.
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll tell you this though, like you said with the kids, spending time. I think it did bring families together, but I think it also pushed people to be entrepreneurs. Like a lot of people was off work and they was being paid more to be off work than go to work. So it just only made sense. Why would I go to work, risk catching a contagious disease, or I could stay at home and be safe and get paid more to do so? It was just a no brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a no brainer. But everything come with a cost though.
You know, it almost seemed like it was a pandemic because if you think how long they've been prepping us to transition, right? I mean, we even go back to when we was working in the factory and they came in there with the robots. The robots was able to do what we were able to do minus the inspection. They weren't that
Mm.
good with inspecting, but they could put together and assemble
Mhm. And
and
and and
and
not
and,
get tired.
right, right. You know what I'm saying? So just think how long this has been put into place. Like even going into Myers and they have to scan yourself.
This self checkout. I'm gonna do you one better. Remember we was working in the factory. They came to us with a piece of paper and they was like, you gotta sign this like, for direct deposit, but it's just a no brainer now. Like everybody got no
Oh
direct
yeah,
deposit, but it was a big thing to me. I'm like, where my check? Just give me my check. I take
right,
it to the bank. I get my own money. I
right,
don't need my money going. Even though it made sense, it
yeah,
just was not. It wasn't normal, and they were
yeah.
saying you had to do it.
It was mandatory.
Yeah, like, and that's what I didn't want. Give me my check. I like to see it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
with that being said, the pandemic, it was, it's still here in a sense, but like, I just think certain places didn't take it as serious, and some people, I mean, some places did, but I know it was a lot of money out
Pandemic. There
It
you
was a
go.
lot of
It
money
it
out here.
was like
There's a lot of
when I
money out here.
when I say it shouldn't nobody been starving during the pandemic. Nobody should have been starving during the pandemic. I mean, they was just giving away food stamps to those who barely could keep food stamps on their card or had the bare minimum amount of food stamps. It was
But on the flip side, a lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people got put out. You got to think about that because it was a false narrative of you didn't have to pay rent or something to that magnitude. And
oh,
a lot of people tested that theory. It worked for some it didn't. And a lot of people left without.
well, then too, there was grant programs for those people who weren't able. That's why it was, in a sense, a pandemic because, in hindsight, they had so many programs
Mhm.
available
Mhm.
to help you pay your utilities, help you pay your rent. I know someone who was like $9,000 behind in rent. Okay,
Mhm.
and it's this place down here, in the old Sheldon complex. It's this place in there where they can go and then help them pay their bills, like pay the whole rent. I think you got to pay a couple of dollars, but nothing compared to the 9,000 that they paid in back rent because they didn't have to pay their rent due to the pandemic. So
Right.
and that um the unemployment, okay? Should nobody been out here starving?
That is
That
such.
was redunculous.
But you know what was so crazy? Um, I don't even want to talk about that because I don't. You know, that that's just about worse as child support, man. I'm telling you, in a sense, because they they the people who really uh need the money for unemployment get denied or have to go through so many loops. Man, about time I got a check for unemployment. I was like, it was what kept it was a month, and I was like, I'm gonna just go back to work because the checks came every 2 weeks, and then the fact that you had to all this back pay, man. I'm not gonna keep calling Marvin every 2 weeks, and then no, look, man, look, like, either send me the money or you don't. If not, I'm going back to work. I should still be entitled to it, but that's just my take on it, and that's my view on it. I don't want to make it about me, but sheesh, I'm telling you, everybody was getting bans. I was like, man, I gotta go to work. You know what I could have
Well,
did
that's
with the
because
money?
you was an essential worker, just like I was an essential worker. So that's how that
Yeah.
went. You know
You
what I'm
know they get
saying?
at my job. You know what they gave us? They gave us a smooth bonus. You know what I'm saying? They gave us $500.
Well, that job, we like that. That job was trash.
Man,
Period. That job was
we ain't gonna
trash.
talk about that.
No, we not.
Nah,
But
but
once again,
yeah.
with everything that was going on, one thing that I did notice that people really shouldn't have been starving. It was just too many outlets and avenues, and it was too many
Right.
programs that they made available because this wasn't like something that only affected one group of people. This affected the whole world. So that's the one time you've seen people really sticking together.
I
They
say this.
trying to figure it out.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all. um, Black people, we used to not really having or making do with what we had. So when that happened, it really didn't bother us as much as it did other races. I seen people panicking, like super panicking, and didn't have to because of the simple fact that like y'all buying tissue and stuff like that. You know, we will grab a rag and wash it out. No,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just saying no. But my point being is like limited food, making food stretch. We good at that. You know what I'm saying? Um the 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 food shelves were short. A lot of things were short. Hand sanitizer, things of that nature. It made people panic. And now you got people that's just never gonna be the same after this. I mean, just
Well,
preppers.
yeah. I mean, on both ends, people never gonna be the same. Those who never had that have won't go back to not having, and those who had and wasn't used to not having, they will not want to not have again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think if I said that correctly, if y'all understand what I'm
I
saying, put
understood you.
in the comments and let me know because
I
I
understood what you
understood
were
what
trying to
I was
say,
saying. But
but
at
you saying if you didn't have and then you obtained something and then you didn't want to go back to not having, so you would know what was you saying again? I didn't. Maybe I lost
all
it.
I'm
I didn't.
saying is that for those who weren't used to having, okay,
Mhm.
or for those who, excuse me, for those who was on a fixed income and could only they were only used to having what they had and budgeting what they were used to getting. They end up getting more during the pandemic because like for those of you who have children, you know what I'm saying? You think of the stimulus, you know what I'm saying? Think of the multiple, it may not look like streams of income to y'all at that time, but you think back, those were multiple streams of income just
I
depending on what you
mean,
did with it. Now,
I say
because
this.
everybody should have been struggling. I mean, you think about it, you think about all that they
I got a
gave.
contract between me and you. This says you do what I tell you to do. Therefore, shut up. Don't say that. Don't speak to me. Don't listen to
That's how I just thought when you just did that. Okay, back to what you were saying.
With all due respect, I just feel like it was just a lot of if you on social media and you reading, it was a lot of flag and a lot of what they call no capping, a lot of capping, but no capping. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I think the pandemic it it strengthened the weak ones and the
Uh,
strong ones.
I think it gave people the opportunity to find a way to do their own research. Some people didn't take it for nothing, and a lot of people took time to research, develop businesses, research what they was talking about, and if it was true or not.
Strengthen some of the weak ones. Like people who couldn't find their way. They had time. You know what I'm saying? Some people take more time than others. They had
Right,
that extra time. It wasn't rushed.
right. I mean, they wasn't rushing nobody back to work because it was just a liability. This is what I didn't understand. Please, somebody in the comments, please help me understand this. Um, when the pandemic was in play and everybody had to not go to work and stay home, how did Walmart stay open? I just didn't understand that they had to work. Everybody else didn't have to work, but you could go get groceries and then they had the line where you had to walk in single file.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna tell you something else.
yeah,
If you read Walmart backwards, tell me what that say in the comments. I ain't gonna say it, but I'm just telling you, it might be something to it because they had us lining up outside. Everybody had to go to Walmart to get something, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
everything else was closed. I mean, wasn't it? Like
It was pretty much like they pick and choose what was allowed to be open, like your Walmart, your Home Depots, your Myers.
price of wood went
Um,
up too. Crazy.
but then when it came to like, if you want to, what was not an essential worker, you were a small business owner, you were not allowed to provide services, unless you was an essential worker. And they chose what those essential workers were. So, even though you may felt like you was a strong business in your community, if they didn't consider you an essential worker, your doors was closed. And then a lot of those businesses they didn't open. They didn't
Then
reopen.
yeah, they didn't open
You
back up
know,
because they went on to do other things. People got bills. That's just what it
yeah,
is. Like I don't understand how you could shut down a whole country and then not really provide something you taking away from them. If you taking their income away from them and telling them they gotta stay home, how you not gonna replace that? You forcing them. You forcing their hand. You know what I mean? So like people got kids. I understand. It like when it comes to tough times, people take tough measures. But at the end of the day, it's all about just doing the right thing. I don't want to say they could have did a lot more, a lot faster. I will say that. You look at Canada, it wasn't like that. Their residents $2,000 a month until the pandemic ended. That would have been straight for most people.
yeah,
You know, it wasn't like that. Would they give us a $1,200 check and then wait 3 months and give you another one? Like they
yeah,
spaced that out.
yeah. They did. They
And
did.
people was crazy over that.
They
People was
were.
like, man, man,
And I don't even think it was so much that they was crazy over the amount that they were giving. I think it was just
man.
the fact that they were giving them something. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Because they just don't give you anything. They take a lot. They don't give us anything really. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know
But
they
they
coming to
take.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah, they take,
It's
but
a
they don't.
give and take.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
so when you telling somebody I'm gonna give you $1,200, yeah, give me my 1,200. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of what it was. That's my opinion, y'all. But y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. You got any questions for us? Put them down in the comments below.
Oh yeah. Make sure y'all do that, man. And hey, we want to say this, man. Let's stick together. Let's build a strong community. Let's keep it positive. Let's stay on the topic and let's salute each other, man. We're gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. We can say this together. 3 letters, 2 words. Be
Be easy.
easy. Trouble, trouble. Walk it off. No, we out of this thing. Let's go. No, but I'm gonna tell you this though. When we really out of this thing, you gonna know. Peace.